Hey, this is George, inflation.us, and we are here with Will at Forclosure Solvers. And what we're talking about today is the huge news. BofA is apparently halting foreclosures in all 50 states. And I wanted to do a highly produced video on this, Will, but there's just so much going on. I just wanted to have a real quick conversation with you and get what's on my mind out there to people that are following NIA, and at the same time address what's happening in real estate. So what's going on, Will? Is this true? 50 states they're just going to stop foreclosures on?
Yeah, it's because there's a lot of fraud in the loan conveyance and how these loans were packaged and securitized as well as originated. So it all started with this whole notary gate where some of the lenders were having trouble producing documents showing that these loans were properly conveyed, and the judges stopped the foreclosure. And it just grew and grew to the point where it's systematic. They basically uncovered systematic fraud in the organization and trade of these notes.
Now, let me double back really quick because, the big news out there is also silver and gold, and I want to address this real estate issue, but I want people to know that we at NIA understand what's happening with silver and gold. I mean, you're talking 30-year highs in silver. I don't even want to talk about the numbers because they're going to be outdated in a week. So, I mean, gold and silver are skyrocketing, and I think this is important in the fact that it's a watershed in what's happening with inflation and the decline of the dollar. And like I've said in the past, you can't, just judge the dollar on the way it's indexed to other currencies, because we're having massive devaluation in currencies all across the world. But on the other token, we're seeing this huge devaluation in real estate, and you disagree with me. First time I saw this article, I saw the headlines and I didn't see the commentary behind it. I think personally that the government is colluding with the banks to stop foreclosures wholesale, because if they go through the foreclosures this year and next year as planned, I'm seeing total Armageddon in real estate. I'm seeing 30-50% declines, and maybe even worse if they go through with all these REOs, all these foreclosures. But you disagree with that. You don't think that that's the reason they're stopping this. You think there's another reason.
Yeah, the reason is legal. Contractually, these loans were fraudulently originated and fraudulently conveyed. So the lenders don't have legal standing to foreclose on these properties. That's the whole essence of this notary gate, and why Obama didn't sign that bill sitting on his desk to make interstate notaries mandatory so they're valid in all the states, so it stops this whole foreclosure process.
So, I've been in title insurance for 10 years. I've seen what mortgage lenders do, and I've seen what real estate agents do. I've seen what escrow companies do. If you really want to, dot every I and cross every T, man, there's a lot of real estate transactions that could be declared illegal. Something here just doesn't make sense. I mean,
No. The banks are not the good guys. The banks basically traded these securities. They sold them to pension funds, insurance companies, municipalities, offering these supposedly high-yield AAA returns. At the same time, like Goldman Sachs, they bet against those same securities. So they made money selling the securities, then they made money betting against the security because they knew the loans and the security were all going to go bust. So when the loans went bust, they made money. So basically it was a double whammy, triple ripoff of the whole system. That's what's being exposed with this whole foreclosure gate, is that they originated loans that they knew couldn't be paid.
Yeah, I understand that.
They made a profit doing that. They made another profit packaging and trading these loans.
Okay.
They set up a system called MERS, which is an electronic mortgage trading system. So they made money trading these mortgage securities back and forth to different organizations and groups and municipalities and whatnot. So they made more money that way. Then they bet against the long-term viability of these products. So when they went bust and the housing market went bust, they made more money from that. This is what's being uncovered right now, and this is why there's so much worry in the marketplace, and this is what got BofA to stop this process, because this is starting to come to light. And what should be required is for these companies to buy back all of those mortgages, which is going to bankrupt all of those companies because what they did was wrong.
Yeah, and you're not even addressing the fact you not only got the triple scam whammy, but also they got bailed out by the taxpayer, so they got the money on the taxpayer end as well.
Well, how did that happen? That happened because they donated so much money in the political process that they basically have a protector protecting them no matter what they do because they give so much money to the political system.
So break it down to me one more time. The reason why Bank of America isn't foreclosing is because there's too much legal liability in the foreclosure process. Is that what's happening?
It's not liability in the foreclosure process. They don't have the proper legal standing to foreclose.
So Will, you're telling me that someone has a $300,000 mortgage, they can't pay it anymore, and just they get to live in the house rent-free forever?
No, but that's not going to happen either. There's going to be some way that they're going to paper over the system because, at the same time, you shouldn't be able to live in your house free forever and not make any payments. But the system that they set up to trade mortgages and profit so wildly from the mortgage market is what caused this whole crisis and caused this paperwork to not be completed and conveyed properly, which is causing them to have problems with the legal process to foreclose.
Okay. So, end game scenario here, I was foreseeing, massive bank foreclosures and REOs this year and next year, causing real estate to further devaluate, another 30, 40, 50%, while silver and gold and precious metals are going through the roof. That's what I was predicting. Now, what does this mean now? Does this mean that all of a sudden there's extra price support in the real estate markets all over the country because banks aren't going to be foreclosing on property? Is that what this means?
This process has been going on for some time. There have been many different moratoriums out there, and this is just another step in this slow train wreck. At some point, there is going to be massive foreclosures. They're just trying to make it more manageable, but the foreclosure process is going to continue for at least another couple of years.
Okay, so at what point does real estate become? You can take a bag of gold or a big bag of silver and buy real estate. When does that point happen?
It's really market-based. It depends on the areas. There's some areas that have just been devastated where you can buy a house in California for $40,000, $50,000, or even Las Vegas, you can buy a house for $40,000, $50,000. There's other areas like San Francisco and Los Angeles, which haven't been hit so much. These areas are going to fall more, while the areas that have been hit, like Riverside, aren't going to fall as much.
Okay. Well, there you go. You got it from Will, our expert at Forclosure Solvers, of what's going on with the mortgage market, with Bank of America basically saying they're going to halt mortgages in 50 states. Hey, thanks, Will. I appreciate you being on.
My pleasure. Anytime, George.
Real quick, guys, I wanted to address this, with the silver, gold, skyrocketing through the roof. And, the physical silver is really hard to come by, physical gold as well. Take a look at the stocks that NIA recommends. Take a look at the ETFs. It's a good way to diversify your portfolio. Also, I can tell you on the ground what we're seeing here is massively people starting to consider other precious metals and other base metals. There's guys that I know that are stocking up their house with copper right now. So anyways, peace out, take care, good luck.